In today's video, I'll be flattening the earth in my backyard and dropping a swimming pool on it. Trying to figure out why the internet keeps telling me to put toothpaste in my goggles, iron my pool floats, and take my non-waterproof phone underwater. Plus more things you guys dared me to do in the comment section. In the last video, I asked you guys to tell me something that you've always wanted but never gotten. Now, I was kind of expecting things like world peace or enough food to feed the needy, but what you guys came up with was good too. But more importantly than all of that, your comments were funny, and that's all that really matters. And since you guys came up with so many comments, I thought I'd ask another question. What is something everyone looks stupid doing? It could be anything from trying to plug in a USB upside down to doing life hacks on YouTube. Be creative with your answers and put whatever you can come up with in the comment section. I'll be featuring 10 of my favorite in the next video. Now we'll be getting started with the most difficult part of putting an above ground pool in, which is leveling the ground. And this part took me a couple of days to complete. I started by making a circle where I do my digging using a piece of string and spray paint. Then I just started digging, and before too long, I found a metal pipe just sticking out of the ground. And I had no idea what it went to or if I should even touch it. But I decided to try to dig it out, not even knowing how long this pole is. But luckily, it was only about 1.5 feet. I still have no idea what that was doing there, but if any of you think you know what this is, leave it in the comments because I have no clue. After that was out of the way, I started tamping the ground to make it firm, and then I added sand to fill in all the low spots, which I just kind of swept around the circle. However, I did end up having to re-level this circle about 1,000,000 times to get it completely flat. But I wanted to take my time with it because it's probably the most important part of installing an above ground pool. After that, everything was pretty straightforward. You just connect all the framing together, hook up the pump, and fill it with water. Or slime if you're a YouTuber. Yeah, that's probably gonna happen in my pool, but not today. But when it's done, you just backflop right in. Which means it's probably a good time to check to make sure my phone is waterproof. It's not. But luckily, life hack channels have been saying that there's a way I can go swimming and not break my phone. So I have heard from multiple sources that if you put an iPhone in a Ziploc bag, it will be completely watertight and therefore safe to take in your pool. BS. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna be putting this in a bag and finding out. This is not one of those newer waterproof iPhones. The 7 is a little bit waterproof, but it's not meant to take underwater. It's more water resistant than waterproof. At least that's what they say, I don't know. But now we're gonna find out. The first bag that I'm gonna be trying to use is one of these Ziploc slider things, but I have another one in case this doesn't work. I just don't have another phone. So there was bubbles escaping, but the phone did seem to survive, but it wouldn't have for long. Let's try another bag. Lots of bubbles were coming up. It would have probably taken a few minutes for it to have died completely though. I mean, this phone is water resistant and the water was getting in pretty slow, so it's not gonna hurt if you wanna put your phone in one of these bags. I'm just saying don't trust it if it falls in the water. Just don't think that you don't have to go get it right away or something. Your phone is gonna break soon. Unless you just happen to have one of those super waterproof phones. Next up, life hack channels are telling me to rub toothpaste on my goggles to keep them from fogging up. But to be honest, they seem to want to try to solve every problem by rubbing toothpaste on it. So I thought we'd try to figure out if this idea even holds water. The next life hack that I keep seeing life hack channels trying to promote about pools is that you can defog your goggles using toothpaste. So what I have here is just whatever random toothpaste I have in my bathroom because they don't specify if it's some sort of toothpaste you want to get. The only thing that I'm worried about is not my glasses fogging up, but now that it's gonna burn my eyes. I don't know what happens when you put toothpaste in your eye, but I think that we're gonna be finding out, or close to it. But first I'm gonna fog up these goggles. This has actually always been a problem for me when I swam. I don't know what it is, but I fog up every pair of goggles I get, especially the ones with the nose piece in it. Just like immediately, boom, fogged, can't see anything. But I can see pretty well underwater because I'm from Florida, which is the same reason of swimming at a pool in October. So now let's see how long it takes to fog up these glasses. So I basically just swam underwater until my goggles fogged up, which only took about 30 seconds, and that's already like 29 seconds more than usual, so getting off to a good start. Well, now that these goggles are officially fogged up, I'm gonna try to clear them out with toothpaste. Well, now I can't see through them at all.
So I assume I need to rinse them off.
Now that I've got all the toothpaste out of it, I'm less afraid of getting toothpaste in my eye now from this, but I don't know if it works yet, so we're gonna have to take it underwater to find out. At the end of the day, I'd say that this works, and it's a lot better than any sort of defogger that you might use on like a windshield or something, because that stuff's made out of poison, so. But if you use chlorine in your pool, like I do, you're already swimming in poison. And that being said, we'll be on to the next life hack. Next up, I've been told that if I get a hole in a pool float, I can seal it back up by just ironing it back together. Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me either. So one of the most common pool life hacks that I've seen is a life hack where they say that you can actually fix an inflatable float by just simply ironing the hole back together. And I have my doubts. I think there's a good chance that you're just gonna end up ruining your float, but there's not really any loss there because it's already got a hole in it, so can't really fault it for that. But I just feel like it might be a waste of time and that it's not gonna work, especially because these things are usually only $1 or $2 anyways, so unless you get one of the really expensive ones, in which case probably should just buy a patch for it rather than ironing it, because whatever you iron together, it's gonna be misshapen in that part. So that being said, we're gonna give this a shot. I've got a brand new floaty right here that I'm gonna put a hole in, you know, just to try this. Not that it's really necessary, but I am gonna blow it up just a little bit before I put a hole in it. I think I started melting it with the iron a little bit. Should not have turned that on so early. Whoops. But it doesn't really matter because I don't think there's a hole in it until I put this knife into it, and that's what we're gonna be sealing shut. So just to make it easy, I'm actually gonna put the hole right along the seam, so hopefully that makes it easier to put back together. Now I'm not gonna make it like a giant hole. I don't wanna make this any more difficult than it has to be. Sometimes even in the perfect scenario, these life hacks don't work, but maybe I'll just make the hole a little bit bigger. So that's the hole that we've made right there. I've got my finger in it, and we're just gonna iron it shut. But to make sure that the plastic doesn't melt anything, I'm gonna be putting down some parchment paper. Here's the hole. Not sure what that did. Nothing. That did absolutely nothing. Maybe I could, holy crap. Can I turn up the heat on this? There we go. Okay, now I've got it on max. Now I think it might be doing some melting. Oh my God. I think it's working, I really do, but I'm just gonna iron it a little bit more just to make sure that we've got it sealed up, or basically to make sure that it's not just the appearance of it being sealed up. It has to really be airtight for this thing to work. I don't know, I'm not expecting too much out of it, but I think that this is the best ironing I can do, which is good because a life hack shouldn't be something that you have to be some sort of an expert ironer or seamstress to be able to do it. It should be for everybody. So I'm gonna finish blowing this up, and that'll give us a good idea right there. Oh my God, the seam already burst that quickly. That's garbage. In short, this is not a good way to seal up an inflatable floaty unless you just don't care or are willing to try anything. Rather than spending your time and energy into this, maybe just wait until you can get a new float. However, there are patches and stuff like that, so if you wanted to get a patch kit, if this is like a reoccurring thing, if your floats keep breaking, you can get a patch kit, and that might actually make more sense, because then you won't have to run out to the store every time you need to replace one. But this life hack is completely BS. But in my opinion, this life hack is completely BS. And that being said, let's go get in the pool. You know, it's too bad that iron trick didn't work, but luckily I had another float, so I guess we're all good. But there's one other life hack that I have seen people doing. Definitely want to give it a shot. I don't even know if that's legible or not. So if this video was helpful, or if you just enjoyed watching it, make sure to leave it a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and bell me for notifications if you'd actually like to see the videos. And of course, I'll be seeing you guys in just a few days with a new video. All right, thanks guys. Bye.